Well, hello, Sunrise, and welcome to this post-Christmas, first Sunday after Christmas message. I'm actually coming to you a couple days before the Sunday, December the 28th. I'm coming to you at night. You may be watching this in the morning. I'm coming to you also from the high country in North Carolina. We're up here visiting with Abby's family, celebrating Christmas with them for a few days, and the Christmas wonder and joy and a little bit of chaos, right, has finally settled, and there's finally a moment of peace and quiet. All except for me, all is at rest right now. I thought about what a better time to take a moment and reflect on what this day, this season, this year has been. The prophet Isaiah says, we hear on Christmas Eve, that you have multiplied the nation, you have increased its joy. You know, in our Wesleyan Methodist heritage, there used to be, practiced in many churches, a watch night service. And coming up this week is New Year's Eve, and watch night was another time that the church would gather together for worship at night. Ash Wednesday, Holy Week, Christmas Eve, and watch night, New Year's Eve. And these faith communities would begin worship 10, 11 o'clock at night and would worship out the year and worship in the new year. It was always called a watch night service. This service was filled with prayer and healing, maybe, for the year that had passed, hope for the year to come, looking to God for guidance, wisdom, patience, right? Celebrating all that God has done, all that God is doing, all that God will do, and the community gathered together. And you think about that opportunity to reflect as a community as we inch our way into the new year. You have multiplied the nation. You have increased its joy. As we approach New Year's, I'm brought to a moment of reflection of all that God has done at Sunrise in 2025. Our staff gathered together for their Christmas party the Sunday before Christmas Eve, and we started the night. I shared just a brief message and just word of thanks and appreciation to them. And I said, we've had a heck of a year, and we've had a heck of a year. God has done and is doing wonderful things at Sunrise, from new events like Pentecost on the patio and the Love Feast, right? Both of these being not just events for our community that's already established, but branching out into our wider community, multiple groups and new people being a part of these things. We're growing in our worship services. Both of them, our children and our youth ministries, are growing. Our mission is growing. We collected, I think we're approaching 13,000 jars of peanut butter as we end out 2025 and move into 2026. And even, believe it or not, 3 months before we reached our goal, the mission team already decided we're going to do it all over again, believing, trusting, hoping that we would eventually reach that 12,500 goal as we did. So many things to be thankful for. So many ways that God has multiplied Sunrise, that God has increased Sunrise's joy. I wonder, as we approach this New Year's Eve holiday, how we might be drawn to a moment of reflection and appreciation, thankfulness for what God has done, and maybe how we look with hope, right? Hope is not just a word for Advent. It's a year-round word. It's a New Year's Eve word. What are we hoping for in the new year, right? How is God prepping us, planning us, even before we may even know it right now, to do ministry, to walk with those who feel outcasted, forgotten about, or ignored, to welcome those who maybe are looking for a community or a faith home, maybe to reach out to those who they don't maybe believe in God yet, but they want to, or they have a lot of questions. They don't really have a place to ask those questions. And so we're not a place that says, hey, you got to come here and you got to have it all figured out. And then once you figure it all out, well, then you're welcome here. Know that this is a place where we can come to learn. We can come to grow together. We can come to love together. You have multiplied the nation. You have increased its joy. One of the things that I'm hoping for myself and for my family, and also for Sunrise in this new year, is maybe an appreciation or practice of rest, right? I mentioned I'm coming to you a few days before we're actually releasing this. I'm coming to you from the high country. The Christmas festivities for my family have dwindled down. It's late at night. It's about 11:30, 11:45 at night. There's finally quiet and rest. We so often forget that rest is a gift given to us from God. Right, and rest doesn't mean sleep necessarily. It doesn't mean to be lazy, right? The psalmist writes to be still and know that I am God. Rest means to just pause. It's also not lost on me that if we look in Scripture, the moments of rest, the times of rest, it's those moments when God is heard best, maybe the clearest. Right, think about Moses, right? So Moses is out by himself. It's at night when the burning bush happens. We can assume at night that Moses is, if he's not resting, he's working his way towards rest. That's when God appears. We can think about Samuel, right? The young boy living in the temple with Eli. He goes to lie down. He's going to sleep for the night. He's going to rest. And that's when the Lord calls Samuel, Samuel. We get the back and forth of, no, I didn't call you, Samuel, go back and lie down. Eventually, when you hear your name be called, say, speak, Lord, your servant is listening, right? Think about Jonah, right? Maybe Jonah is an odd story. It's a great story. It's an odd story. A lot leaves you with more questions than answers. But even when Jonah rests in his anger, in his frustration, right? In that Jonah rests, God provides the shade or the tree, right, over Jonah as he rests. That's when Jonah and God are able to have a conversation with one another, right? We think about Mary and Joseph, right? Especially Joseph, now that we're post-Christmas here, right? It's Joseph in his rest, in his sleep, that the angel appears to him and warns him of what Herod is about to do, what Herod has decreed, and guides Joseph to take Mary and Jesus and leave and go to another nation. It's not safe for you in your home anymore. You need to go somewhere else. And thanks be to God, the Egyptians were able to welcome them without punishment or harm as they ran away from political violence and jealousy. And all this happens while these important people are resting. I wonder how that might speak to us. I'm not in my usual Sunday or video messages, right? I'm in shorts and a t-shirt. I'm not asleep, but I'm in a restful state. I wonder how God might be calling us to rest so that we might hear God more clearly. It's hard to hear God. It's hard to hear others when we're so wrapped up and consumed in what to do next, and we have to do all these things, and here's my to-do list. I have to do them all in one after the other. Then once my list is done, then I go to sleep. And what's interesting is that if we look back at the creation story, part of the things to do, if you will, of God in creating the world in order, part of that to-do list was to rest. In a lot of ways, that's what we're doing today, right? On behalf of the staff, I say so much appreciation to our staff parish leadership and church leadership for providing an opportunity for the staff to rest, to take a moment and pause, right? I wonder how God might be calling us to do that. I wonder how we might hear. I wonder what we might hear, right? We're moving into something new here in the new year, and there's lots of things to do. There's a heavy to-do list that I have already started making that I'll begin to work on once the new year gets here. We're embarking on this new leadership team. We have new old things planned. We have new things planned. We have Ash Wednesday, 7.5 weeks away. Whew. Easter, 13.5 weeks away, I think. In the midst of all the new and the new old and all that, God calls us to rest. Because when we can rest, we move ourselves down on the priority list and something else can take its place. The one that can take its place is the one that might be telling us to be still. To be still and know, to be still and comforted, to be still and be at peace that God is God. I wonder, friends, what, as we approach this new year, what you might give God thanks for. I wonder what you might be asking, hoping for healing from. As you look ahead into the new year, I wonder what the things are that may be building up a little bit of stress or anxiety or nerves. I wonder what things you're looking forward to that are hopeful and exciting, right? Filled with possibilities and wonder. And then I wonder, amidst all of that, how God might be calling us just to rest. Just to be still. For God has multiplied the nations. God has increased our joy. Merry Christmas, friends. Happy New Year. Thanks be to God.